I'm Kevin Shaw with the Watercraft Journal, and today we have something very special for you. We're here with Dave Bambus of RIVA Racing, and we just spent the better part of the morning test riding this very same unit. And what you're looking at isn't just a regular 2019 FX SVHO. Rather, what we have is the RIVA Yamaha limited edition FX1800R. And it's a 350 horsepower unit that RIVA is going to be building 25 of these.
That's correct, Kevin.
Okay, so a limited edition, limited number of these very special hand-built machines that, and we can attest to this, runs over 83 miles an hour at 8,800 RPM. That is smoking fast, and it's probably way more ski than I or any of us would ever want to have, but I'll tell you what, it does it all day long. And we're really tickled with the machine that we got to test ride today. So tell me about the decision to go with the FX this year.
Absolutely. Well, we're very excited about this new platform by Yamaha, which is the new FX. The previous generation FX went from 12 to 2018,
right.
And for 2019, complete new hull, complete new deck, and this thing is amazing. And we decided we wanted to build our limited edition this year around this new FX platform. We have a lot of new parts and have a lot of stuff to show you.
You introduced this new steering system. There's an all-new billet steering system,
right,
specific for the FX.
Correct. This is specifically for the FX, the 2019 FX, but it happens to backdate down to the 2012 FX.
So a guy with a 2016 could put that on.
Exactly. And we're removing all the stock plastic stuff and the stock steering system, and you get this nice precision billet aluminum system, gets all the play out of your steering.
Right.
You're still retaining your adjustment, and it accepts your 1 7/8 inch standard MX bars like the RIVA bars.
Okay.
And it just cleans this whole area up really nicely.
It opens it up really nice. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are actually the factory pods, correct?
Correct. These are the factory pods, which include all of your ride controls and your throttle trigger and your stop and start switches, and they slide right onto the RIVA bars.
Awesome.
So we have the RIVA billet steering system, we have the RIVA handlebars,
right,
the factory controls, and we went with our ODI grips.
Right,
the ODI grips are awesome.
Made a big difference.
Yeah, they're 130 millimeters in length, and we've capped off the package with our RIVA grip ends, which are nice billet grip ends that are available in a variety of colors, in this case red to match the color scheme of the FX.
Exactly. Working our way down, we got a really nice race-inspired seat.
Exactly. The seat cover is key because this machine has so much G-force in the corner. The stock seat cover is a little slippery, and this has a really nice medium slip texture. Jet Trim builds our seat covers for us, and they're the best in the business when it comes to seat covers. And that medium slip technology will not tear up raw skin, so if you're wearing board shorts and your legs are rubbing against it, it's not going to tear up your legs, but it will give you that extra grip in the corner so you have that feeling of confidence that you're on the machine.
Right.
On our limited editions, we always play off the factory graphics, then we add in obviously the designation of the ski, which is the FX1800R, and our RIVA logos in the limited edition. So the boarding mat on this rear platform is really neat because the factory vendor for this turf is HydroTurf,
right,
which is a leader in the industry
as
far as it comes to non-slip turf materials. They supply a lot of the OEM stuff, and they make this rear panel for us. There's 3 key components that make all the difference. Let's start with the sponsons. So the factory sponsons are removed. We put on our RIVA adjustable sponsons. These have 3 positions, up and down.
Okay.
The way you rode them today was in the middle position.
In the middle position.
Right.
Okay.
They can drop one down for a more aggressive ride, but I don't think you're ready for that.
No, I don't think I can even get on.
Right. The sponsons are key. Anytime you're over, say, 75 miles an hour, it keeps you from rocking back and forth, keeps straight line stability, and really gives you a lot of confidence in the turns.
Yeah, the Pro Series sponsons in all of our previous testing, the Pro Series sponsons have really helped out in providing, especially rough water tracking. And we just find that it really is a make or break when it comes to a hull design.
Nice little detail on the limited edition. Notice we anodized the washers red to match the color scheme.
Now I noticed something else that is part of the uniqueness and the time that RIVA spends in developing a sponson is the backing plate is machined and actually blends into the blade itself.
That's right. There's a lot of work in that backing plate. We spent hundreds of hours on the water developing these sponsons. Moving back to the ride plate. The ride plate is longer than the original ride plate, has a different angle, and this is essential anytime you're going over like 73 miles an hour on this hull. You got to move on to the RIVA ride plate because it trims the nose up and it just makes the machine handle like a dream, and you felt that today. This is the intake grate, and it's actually not new. This intake grate has been out for a while. It fits the FX series from 2012 right up to 2019.
All the bolt holes line up.
Exactly,
That's
and
great.
it works fantastic on the 2019 FX. We tried a bunch of new designs, and we kept coming back to our original FX intake grate.
Okay, so that's a really unique blade design, and that helps preload the pump and get that prop all the bite and traction it needs.
Right. The top loader wing directs the water right up into the center of the jet pump. It has a good deep rear chip that also loads the pump. And the rails are also deeper, so that helps for tracking.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Now, obviously, when it comes to something like that and really wanting to seal up the whole pump tunnel, you're going to want to accompany that with your seal kit.
Right. The pump seal kit, they're kind of like rubberized material, and it seals right up into these openings right here, and then when you put your silicone on it, it gives you a nice sealing surface. So the pump seal kit is essential to keep the cavitation down.
Great. So all that together is what's keeping that ski planted at going over 80 miles an hour and keeping all that traction.
Exactly. The handling package is the sponsons, the ride plate, the intake grate, the pump seal kit. We put the power to the water with the pump impeller. We use the Solus impellers.
Okay, what pitch is that?
We're using the 1318 Concord.
Perfect.
It really works well. That's the 1318 with this engine package is spinning 8,800 RPMs, 83 miles an hour.
Okay.
The rear exhaust outlet is obviously part of our rear exhaust kit. So it's a direct run from the factory water box right out the back of the Watercraft. We're creating a more reliable situation. We're getting rid of all the plastic, we're getting rid of multiple hose clamp attachments, and we're going directly from the water box right out the transom of the Watercraft.
Plus you get a great sound.
It sounds awesome, it looks awesome,
yeah.
And it's definitely adding reliability, and it gives you, reduces the back pressure for a little bit more bottom end punch.
Even better.
Here we have our 350 horsepower engine package.
And this is the same SVHO engine package that we've seen on the previous GP, correct?
Pretty much, yeah. It's based on our Stage 2 RIVA kit, because you can buy these parts as a Stage 2 kit and put them on your Watercraft, whether you have an FZR or a GP or an FX. Okay. This is our Stage 2 engine kit with a couple extra goodies that we put in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got a few new things to add to the parts list.
Cosmetically, we've also taken the time to paint the valve cover red. You'll see the plaque, which has the serial number. This is 0 of 25 because this is the pre-production, and we were building obviously 25 more units. And everything fits beautifully, and we've taken a lot of time with the layout. I actually have one of these engines outside of the ski. It'd be easier for us to do a walk around.
Great.
So let's go over there and take a look.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Well, this is a pretty neat setup. This is the whole engine package right here in front of us.
Exactly. It's pulled out of the ski, so it's very easy to see every piece.
Cool.
So back here is your electrical components. And the most important control aspect of that is the ECU, or engine control unit. And we've reflashed or reprogrammed the engine control unit using the RIVA Map Tuner X system, which remaps the fuel curves, the timing curves, the rev limit, and it works perfectly in unison with the rest of the modifications we've done to the engine.
Great, okay. And so what do we got here when it comes to hard parts? I'm looking at the same bright red valve cover, and underneath it, I understand you got some spring retainers.
Exactly. We've replaced the factory spring retainers with our titanium, lightweight titanium retainers, which are much better at a higher RPM, because we're swinging this engine up to 8,800 RPMs.
Certainly.
Stock RPMs are around 7,500.
Right. So
for added reliability and performance, we go with the titanium retainer.
You don't want
package.
those valves touching the pistons.
Exactly. Moving over here is your supercharger. Now we've installed our RIVA upgraded shaft kit into the supercharger, and that is adding reliability at the high RPMs, but the supercharger impeller is stock.
Really? You're running the factory impeller?
Exactly.
So you're not blowing the boost out through the roof?
No, we're producing 350 horsepower at 8,800 RPMs, and we're going 83 miles an hour with a stock supercharger impeller. But we've added the shaft for reliability. This is our famous power filter, which is an air intake system. So you're taking the cold air from the front of the ski, because this is where your factory vents come in, taking the cold air from the front of the machine.
Get a nice dense charge into the
Right,
throttle.
and it's piped down through this ducting right into your supercharger. And then we actually use a engine breather upgrade kit. It's actually located back here, and that keeps the hot oil vapor from the engine out of your power filter. So this is our new Gen 3 power cooler for Yamaha. And the Gen 3 power cooler has a really large cooler core. We're replacing the small OEM intercooler that comes on the Yamaha SVHO engine. It's restrictive. I mean, it's fine, you know, for the stock horsepower,
Sure.
but when you want to bring the horsepower up and you're riding hard and those heat levels come up, this big power cooler really cools down those intake temperatures because the supercharger condenses that air, and when it's, you know, it's an air pump basically,
Certainly.
and those air intake temperatures go way up when you compress the air. And the intercooler takes those air temps down.
I'm seeing a lot of volume here. I mean, this is really pretty substantial over the factory unit. I'm also seeing some billet end caps.
Right, right. She's put together with billet end caps, very large core, which is rated for 600 horsepower.
Wow.
She has these high temp silicon tubes that connect the supercharger to the intercooler and the intercooler back to the throttle body.
And these all come with the intercooler.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have this baby.
Yeah.
This is this is the 50 millimeter tile blow-off valve,
Right.
or BOV. So the blow-off valve, what this does for you is when you're at a high RPM rate and that supercharger is pumping a lot of air, and then you let off the throttle,
Shut that throttle, yeah.
and that throttle plate closes, that compressed air has nowhere to go.
Right.
So this little pulse line tells your blow-off valve that that throttle plate's closed, and this blows off the extra boost pressure. What does that do for you? First of all, it saves your clutch,
Right.
your supercharger clutch, because it's not fighting against that boost
Right.
pressure. Second of all, it blows off this hot air, so when you get back on the throttle, you get a cool boost
Nice
of
charge.
dense air.
Good. So the real question is, how is the new 2019 RIVA Yamaha FX1800R ride on the water? We are immediately impressed with how responsive the craft was to rider input. We attribute a lot of this to the new billet steering system that RIVA developed for the new unit. Additionally, we found that the FX greatly benefited from the new sponsons and ride plate. Whether going through glass or cutting through chop, the Watercraft never varied. We found that tracking was laser straight and handling any sort of corner was done so with razor precision. Throttle response was nearly precognitive, with the ski pulling further and further and further the longer we held into the throttle. With a 240-pound rider and half a tank of gas, we recorded a GPS top speed of 83.2 miles per hour at 8,800 RPM. We have heard that the ski can almost hit 85 miles an hour with a significantly lighter rider. With so much power on tap, combined with the redesigned hull with all new RIVA handling parts, we have something that truly is unique. The 2019 FX1800R marks the 5th year of the limited edition RIVA Racing machines, and to us is easily the best one of the bunch. All right, Dave, I gotta say, this is a whole lot of machine for what, $26,995?
Yeah, just under 27.
Just under 27, and that's 25 units. So if you want one, you basically have to call right now.
Exactly. They go very quickly every year.
Now, obviously, not everyone's going to get into those limited 25 units, but they can replicate all the performance and even get the same high traction seat and the steering system and all the handling components right through RIVARacing.com, right?
That's right. We offer just about everything except for the limited graphics package.
Sure.
Right.
Thank you so much for letting me play with your very, very fun toys today. This was a real treat, and I love coming out. You guys always have something new for us to mess with, and honestly, we are really, really wowed with what you're able to cultivate out of what we thought was a great FX SVHO already. Now it's all the more better.
You're welcome.
So thank you again. Guys, thank you for watching the Watercraft Journal. I'm Kevin Shaw. We're here with Dave Bambus of RIVA Racing. Make sure to check us out Monday through Friday at watercraftjournal.com.